Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. I have been missing for like around 3 weeks. If you look at my channel, I was posting really consistently and then I kind of just stopped. And honestly, I've been kind of going through some things and I figured now is the time to like jump back on and really dive in and explain to you like what I've been going through. Honestly, I'm kind of nervous to even like post this video, but I just feel like I've been using YouTube as kind of like a really meaningful, impactful, like healing journey for myself just by being able to share my truth. And so I'm kind of nervous to share this, but I'm just going to be totally transparent, totally honest, but this is where I've been at for the past like 2 or 3 weeks and yeah, and I've honestly been struggling. So um those of you guys that have been following my channel for a while know that I am in the low vision community. I have a disease, um, or I've been diagnosed with a disease that often leads to people losing their vision. And I recently moved back to Dallas, which is where I'm from. And over the past 5 months have been really working hard to like rebuild my real estate career. That's what I've done my entire career. And after moving back to Dallas, like trying to settle and have a life here, I have just been focusing on like rebuilding my career, rebuilding my bank account after like taking off work for 2 years after kind of having like a mental breakdown with my diagnosis. And so, anyways, um, yeah, the past couple of weeks, I have emotionally been struggling. I have been desperately trying to get out of doing real estate as a career. Number one, because like it's not something that really resonates with me at this point in my life. A lot of stuff about real estate's about like money and like big flashy cars or expensive purses. Like a lot of like real estate can be very materialistic, and that's not really been my vibe for several years. But also because in order to do real estate realistically, like you have to be able to drive, especially in Texas. And so now that I'm no longer driving, um, when I stopped driving 3 years ago, I really realized, okay, awesome. This is like the time for me to take a career shift because I'm going to have to. So um, anyways, over the past couple of weeks, like I have really been struggling emotionally because I am so desperately wanting to take a shift and take a pivot in my life. And it just seems like with my vision issues that, to be honest, I feel like I'm kind of like up against a brick wall. Like I am like in a city where I don't drive and you kind of need to drive. And so it's like getting a different career. It really limits me to do remote work or limits me to be able to walk to wherever I'm going, wherever I need to go. Um, I have only done real estate as my career and I'm like, okay, now what? Because that's all that I know, and having to like make an abrupt shift without really even planning for that has been just kind of like a really big like frustration, to be honest. Um, and over the past couple of weeks, I've been like really trying to figure out like what do I really want to do? What is my like what do I feel my purpose is? What do I feel like passion for? What do I enjoy? And ultimately, that has always been I enjoy mentoring and coaching and being kind of like a motivation for people. I've been doing that for the past 10 years as a real estate broker, mentoring and training agents to have the careers that they want to have. And ultimately, over the past couple of weeks, I'm like, that's really what's in my heart and in my passion. It's just, it's not real estate anymore. I really want to be coaching and mentoring people. About something that really resonates with me and something that I know I personally have always struggled with is mental health, whether it be depression, anxiety, most recently in the past couple of years, grief of realizing how different my life is, how different my life is probably going to be from what I thought it was going to be, and also grieving the fact that my life is going to be different than everyone else's. And so over the past couple of weeks, I've really been like trying to pick that apart and understand like how can I show up in this world and be able to give back in places that I feel passion for and also that my gifts are for. And that led me to posting on some of the low vision Facebook communities about like what type of resources are out there for people who are losing their vision or people who are disabled, whatever word you want to use for that, but what resources are out there for people, because me being somebody whose life has dramatically changed, I don't want to say overnight, but having to make a decision to stop driving at 30 and having a career that literally you have to drive everywhere in order to make that career work. Trying to figure out what resources are out there for me to make a total career change, a total career shift when I'm kind of in a space where I'm not able to drive like everyone else. I'm not able to really be independent the same way that everybody else is while living in Texas or living in a state that's car dependent, which is most states in the US. And so as I was kind of doing some searching about that, I, stumbled across, I'm in several like low vision or blind Facebook communities, and finding out that there are resources sometimes through your state that can help you with like going back to school or help you get training for a certain type of career to get you back into the workforce. And it just kind of led me down these rabbit holes. I met with a really amazing guy, Josh, who runs a blind hockey league, I think it is. But he is blind. And so speaking with him and learning about like the different resources that he's been able to find over the years to help him with his situation has really been eye-opening. But also in the same time frustrating, because as I find that there's potentially like resources out there for people that are different, I'm also finding that like even making a call to find, oh, well, you don't drive anymore. Well, there is a program with the state, but there's a year-long waiting list. Or, oh, well, you have to, like this program I found that like maybe could help me go back to school. Oh, well, it's basically like a 6-month long process. And the truth of the matter is if you are a sole like income household, I am a single woman. I don't have anybody who also contributes to helping me pay my bills. If you're a sole income household, like all of these state programs, if they are even available, like who has time to wait on that? And a lot of us don't have wealthy families or have like a significant other that we can fall back on financially. And so honestly, the past couple of weeks have seemed extremely frustrating, because I'm just like, man, like what is out there for people that like stumble upon a surprising like shift of events in their life, and it totally unexpected, totally out of your control. It wasn't like I made a bad decision and like I'm having to, do something different for my career. Like this was just totally something that was out of my control. And so this past couple of weeks, I've been like nonstop researching, nonstop trying to like sort out my life and figure out like, what am I going to do? I moved back to Dallas because my business at the time was really taking off. And since I've come back, I've realized like more and more that this is not like, I don't want to do real estate. I really want to do something for a career that I feel passion behind, that I feel like is wrapped up in my purpose. And also that like pays me money, that like is also rewarding as well. And so the past couple of weeks I've been really like just hyper manic, frustrated, like researching, trying to figure out what I'm going to do. Oh, should I move out of Texas and move like maybe to a place that's like more walkable and walk friendly? What should I do for my career? Should I go back to school? Should I like try to enroll in some of these programs that may take 6 months, 8 months? Who knows? Like I've just been kind of hyper like researching and trying to figure out what am I going to do with my life. And so the point of this video is kind of really to just jump on and say, like, this is really what's been going on in my life. I am normally I've worked really hard on myself to remain positive, to be very trusting, to just always see like that everything kind of does lay out divinely for our lives. But I'm not going to lie, the past 3 weeks, I have been very frustrated and very emotional, very just kind of like upset, to be honest, about just the way that I feel like some of our systems and our like state government, whatever you want to say, it's like some of the things that they do or lack thereof, what they do for people that, have disabilities. And so as I'm trying to figure out my path, I do know one thing. I do know that I was given this weight to carry for a reason. I know that it's not in vain. I know I'm never going to be one of those people that's just like, oh my God, my life sucks. I can't believe that this happened to me, because there's a lot of people out there that have those mindsets that are just like, have some sort of like challenging thing about them, like health wise, or something that happens in their life that's like really challenging. And I've never been the type of person that's just like, woe is me and my life is horrible and I'm just gonna sulk in this mess. I might sit there for a couple weeks, but it's not me to just like adopt that as my mentality. So over the past couple of weeks, I have been really frustrated. I have been very emotional, very upset. I've also been like manically researching and exhausting myself too, trying to find all of the answers. And ultimately, at the end of the day, like, I'm coming back to like level head and realizing that I'm not going to figure out the answers. I do trust divinely in my plan, and I do know that everything that's been laid out for me has been for a specific reason, and I can hold it. It's not something that is going to defeat me. Me having struggles with my vision, or me like not being able to have like total independence like the average 30-year-old woman would have, like, I know that this is not in vain, and that this is something that have been given for a very, very specific purpose. So regardless if I know what that purpose is right now, regardless if I know what I'm going to do to pay my bills, I do know that I really enjoy helping people. I know that it's my purpose and my mission to like motivate and inspire people, regardless what that looks like. And so I am trying my best to hold myself accountable and say, hey, you need to show up, you need to be real, like not just when I'm super trusting and I'm super positive and everything in my life is like all shaking out and it all looks great, but also showing up and being accountable when I'm super frustrated, when I feel super defeated, when I'm like super questioning about like what is going on in my life and why is this happening to me. I need to show up in those moments too, because this is real, and there's so many people out there that are struggling with whether it be some sort of trauma, some sort of family dynamic struggle, some sort of like health issue, some sort of financial issue. Like sometimes I feel like I'm literally dealing with all of those things at one time. But all of us are dealing with something. All of us are being asked to carry things that may seem like they're way too heavy to carry. But I truly believe that we have the choice. Either we can like sit and sulk with what cards are in front of us, or we can be alchemists and we can transform that pain, those wounds, those struggles. We can transform those things into pure gold, into pure magic. And so I'm showing up right now. It's Friday night. I've been in Dallas for like 5 or 6 months, and every single Friday and Saturday I am at my house because I don't really socialize and I don't really like have independence here. And so I am not feeling my best today. Obviously, I haven't been feeling my best for the last couple of weeks. I've been feeling very depressed and isolated, but I'm showing up. YouTube has been extremely healing for me emotionally, to be able to share my journey and hear from other people who know what I'm talking about, or people who have just experienced something kind of similar. And so those of you that are like questioning why is she sharing so much of her personal business, honestly, this has been really healing for me. So I'm just showing up, I'm holding myself accountable, and I'm being real and letting you know that this is where I've been at for the past couple of weeks. Just having a really big question mark about what am I going to do for my future? What am I going to do with these challenges that have been presented? And why did this happen to me? Honestly, that's where I've been at. So if you resonate with any of this at all, as I mentioned, it's been super healing for me to hear from y'all about your experiences or things that you've done to work through some of the things that I'm personally struggling with right now. So if you have any experience with this at all, please feel free to leave a comment. This was super vulnerable, but this is real. This is where I'm at this week, this month, and this is what I've been posting on YouTube. So hopefully I'm gonna get back into my normal rhythm. Hopefully I start figuring out like what is a girl to do who is single, childless, in her 30s, living in a state that requires you to be able to have a car and to get around and to have independence, and no longer drives and is low vision right now. So, yeah, I'm just going to continue on. So please leave a comment below and I'll see y'all in the next video.